Beyond the beautiful sight of Cinderella Castle and the bustling Main Street, USA, lies another side of Walt Disney World, one that most visitors never knew existed. Scattered across Disney's massive properties are forgotten places with fascinating stories. These places were once brimming with excitement and promise, but now they've been reclaimed by nature or left as distant memories. From a pioneering water park swallowed by the wilderness to a wildlife sanctuary that's vanished, and even half-built hotels that never welcomed a single guest, these forgotten projects have slowly faded from view. These abandoned projects were left behind for different reasons, some due to shifting trends, others because of financial challenges. So, what are these forgotten Disney resorts? Let's find out. One of them was a whopping $100 million project that just couldn't find its footing. And the last one on our list is a dream that never even had the chance to come true. Let's get started. In the middle of Bay Lake at Walt Disney World, there's a quiet, overgrown island that many people have forgotten about, and that is Discovery Island. This 11.5-acre island, now silent, was once full of life with exotic animals and curious visitors. Back in 1974, it opened as Treasure Island, inspired by the classic pirate adventure by Robert Louis Stevenson. The story of Treasure Island began when Disney Imagineers discovered the natural beauty of the island during Walt Disney World's construction. They immediately recognized its potential as a unique attraction, different from anything else in the park. The island's location in Bay Lake made it perfectly accessible by boat from both the contemporary resort and Fort Wilderness, yet isolated enough to feel like a true escape into nature. At first, it was all about pirates, with shipwrecks and other nautical touches. However, in 1976, Disney changed its theme and renamed it Discovery Island. This new focus on nature turned the island into a wildlife sanctuary, showing off an impressive collection of plants and animals. This rebranding proved to be a masterstroke, as it allowed Disney to create an attraction that seamlessly merged entertainment with conservation efforts. The island's transformation into a wildlife sanctuary brought an extraordinary array of exotic and native species to Bay Lake. The centerpiece was its world-class aviary, housing over 140 species of birds. Visitors were enchanted by free-flying scarlet macaws, cockatoos, and flamingos. The island's commitment to wildlife care was so strong that it earned accreditation from the American Zoo and Aquarium Association. Beyond its role as a wildlife sanctuary, Discovery Island served as a pioneering model for Disney's approach to animal attractions. The island's success in combining entertainment with education laid the groundwork for future projects, including Disney's Animal Kingdom. However, the island's story took a turning point in the late 1990s. The development and opening of Disney's Animal Kingdom in 1998 created an unavoidable challenge. The new park offered a grander, more immersive animal experience on a much larger scale. Despite its charm, Discovery Island couldn't compete with Animal Kingdom's scale and spectacle. Rising maintenance costs and the challenges of transporting guests by boat added to the strain. In 1999, after 25 years of delighting visitors, Discovery Island closed its doors. The animals were relocated, many finding new homes at Animal Kingdom, while others were transferred to zoological facilities across the country. Today, Discovery Island remains a forgotten relic in the middle of Bay Lake. Though officially off-limits to visitors, the abandoned island has become something of an urban legend among Disney enthusiasts. The next stop on our journey through Disney's forgotten wonders is River Country. When River Country opened on June 20th, 1976, it was a game changer. Nestled along the peaceful shores of Bay Lake and connected to Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort, this water park offered something unique. It felt like stepping into a scene from a Mark Twain novel. Disney wanted to create a place that reminded people of old-fashioned swimming holes, and they nailed it. Imagineers went all out to give the park a rustic, back-to-nature vibe. The whole place was designed to look like a Frontier family's favorite summer getaway. Everything, from the wooden buildings to the dirt pathways, made you feel like you'd traveled back in time to a simpler era of swimming and splashing around. River Country didn't just look cool, it was part of a bigger experience at Fort Wilderness. Guests could grab breakfast at the resort, head over to River Country for a day of fun, and finish the evening with the famous Hoop-Dee-Doo musical review. It all fit together perfectly, making you feel like you were living in a pioneer storybook. The attractions were just as impressive. The main attraction, Upstream Plunge, looked like a natural swimming pond, complete with tire swings and a T-bar drop. If you were looking for a bit more adventure, Whitewater Rapids took you on a wild, twisting ride through rocks and trees. And for the brave, there was Whoopin' Holler Hollow, 2 water slides that sent you speeding down 260 feet into a splashy landing. Younger kids had their own fun at Kitty Cove, with smaller slides and shallow water to keep things safe and fun. River Country was a hit in the 70s and 80s, and it even inspired Disney to create more water parks like Typhoon Lagoon in 1989 and Blizzard Beach in 1995. These newer parks had bigger attractions and more detailed themes, making it harder for River Country to keep up. By the late 90s, River Country started facing some challenges. The park was small, and as Disney World got busier, its limited space became an issue. Plus, its unique natural water system, which was innovative back in the day, now had to meet stricter health and safety rules. Concerns about waterborne illnesses, like amoebas, made things even more complicated. To stay open, River Country would have needed a lot of upgrades. But with its small size and location, expanding or updating it didn't make financial sense, especially when Disney already had 2 bigger, newer water parks. In November 2001, River Country closed for what was supposed to be regular seasonal maintenance, but unlike other years, it never reopened. In 2005, Disney officially announced that River Country was closed for good, ending a chapter of Disney history that many still remember fondly. Remember that $100 million project we mentioned earlier? Well, it's time to talk about it. That project was the Wonders of Life Pavilion. When Epcot's Golden Dome of Wonders of Life first opened on October 19, 1989, it wasn't just another attraction. It was something completely new. Sponsored by MetLife, this $100 million project aimed to make learning about the human body fun and exciting, using Disney's magical way of telling stories. The Golden Dome stood out in Future World East, inviting visitors to explore the amazing world of human biology. Once inside, the vibrant space felt alive, designed to show the energy and activity of the human body. The floor even had a DNA strand pattern, guiding guests through different attractions. One of the biggest highlights was Body Wars, Disney's first thrill ride using advanced simulation technology. In this ride, guests were shrunk to a tiny size and taken on a wild adventure inside the human body. Led by Dr. Cynthia Lair, the journey took visitors through the bloodstream, past a splinter, and even into the brain. It was an exciting mix of science and action, making learning about the body thrilling. Then there was The Making of Me, a thoughtful film hosted by Martin Short. It tackled the topic of human reproduction in a way that was both informative and sensitive, perfect for families to watch together. As the 90s went on, the Wonders of Life kept updating its exhibits to keep up with new medical discoveries. But in the early 2000s, challenges started to arise. MetLife ended its sponsorship in 2001, leaving Disney to handle all the costs. Keeping the exhibits up to date became harder and more expensive. By 2004, the pavilion only opened during busy times of the year, which was a sign of its decline. Finally, on January 1, 2007, after a quiet holiday season, the Wonders of Life closed for good. Today, the Golden Dome is still there, but it's now used as the Epcot Festival Center, hosting special events throughout the year. Now, let's talk about one of Disney World's most interesting abandoned projects, the Pop Century's Legendary Years. Back in the late 1990s, Disney had a big idea for the Pop Century Resort. They planned to build 2 sections connected by a bridge called the Generation Gap, which crossed over Hourglass Lake. On one side, they built the classic years, celebrating everything from 1950 to 1999. This part opened in 2003 and became a hit. On the other side, they planned the Legendary Years, which would celebrate the decades from 1900 to 1949, completing the entire century of American pop culture. Construction on the Legendary Years started around the same time as the Classic Years. By 2002, the basic structures were already standing, and you could imagine how amazing it was going to be. They had plans for giant decorations and themed areas for each decade. For example, there was going to be a huge radio tower representing the 1940s and sculptures of old-fashioned cars from the 1930s. Every building was designed to take guests back in time, with each decade getting its own special touch. The resort was supposed to have 2,880 rooms spread across multiple buildings, each with a unique theme from a different decade. The main lobby would have made you feel like you were stepping back into the early 1900s, and each courtyard would have been filled with iconic symbols from that era, but things didn't go as planned. After the September 11, 2001 attacks, the tourism industry struggled. Disney, facing fewer visitors and financial uncertainty, had to make some tough choices. They decided to pause construction on the legendary years in 2002. What was meant to be a temporary halt ended up lasting for years, leaving the buildings unfinished and forgotten. For almost a decade, the empty structures stood across the lake from the busy classic years, looking like a ghost town. These bare concrete buildings, left to face the elements, created a mysterious and almost eerie atmosphere. Disney fans were fascinated by the sight, and many wondered what would happen next. Finally, in 2010, Disney made a surprising announcement. Instead of letting the abandoned buildings go to waste, they decided to repurpose them into something new. They turned the space into Disney's Art of Animation Resort. By 2012, the once-abandoned legendary years had been transformed into a colorful and lively celebration of Disney and Pixar animation. So, which other forgotten Disney resorts do you think should be on this list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the magic. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next adventure.